and we'll get started. I'm going to make it as quick as I can, just so we have time for questions. If any questions come up, or if we want to share any scenarios or stories or ways that we've used this to help give real life examples. But we are going to talk about a couple different products today, called the Trade-in Mortgage by Calque. Obviously, that's what's on my screen right now. But basically, we're here to help educate not only realtors, but clients on how to buy before they sell, because that dreaded contingent offer that we don't want to make in this competitive market, especially spring and summer market. These products will allow clients to make an offer non-contingent and potentially even pull some equity out and do all in one. So I'm going to go over Calque first, this trade-in mortgage. Calque is partnered with Fairway, and PowerPoint, full disclosure, I did not create this PowerPoint. This is shared by the group, so they are a little corny, but it's fun. So obviously buying and selling at the same time is super stressful. So if we can take that away for our clients, or take some of that pain point away and allow them to buy non-contingent and move, maybe that gives you more time to stage the house, get the house ready. They're not worried about kids and dogs and any animals in the house. They're already moved out. You can stage it properly and potentially sell the home even higher, because it stays clean. It's staged beautifully. It's just a win for everybody. So basically, couple statistics. So financing contingencies, we know, make the financing process harder. It makes your life as a realtor and a client harder to make a contingent offer. It's stressful for everybody. You got to list the house right away. We're waiting for it to sell. Buyer's offer could fall through. There's so many things that can happen, right? We don't need to spend too much time on that. But a third of transactions have non-contingent financing. That means 2/3 are contingent. So these products, to help remove that contingency, are going to be really a game changer for you at your listing presentations and your buyer consults. So basically, we know what does our consumer want? They want to win bidding wars in a tight market, obviously. And as an agent, you want that too. How many times do we get clients that have a ton of trapped home equity? Especially now, I think the statistic, it changes all the time, but it's just over 40% of homeowners own their home free and clear in the US. So I need to find out that statistic in Illinois specifically, and other states, but it's around 40%. So, and we know inventory is still tight, even though it is growing a little bit, inventory is still tight. So we know that home is going to sell, right? But they need to grasp that equity. So how can they do that? So cash offer, buy before you sell products are up 33% during the market. Or overall in the United States market, sorry. Like I said, a couple of fun statistics for you. So solution to all of that, long story short, is the Trade-in Mortgage by Calque. This is one of the products that we have. Basically, what happens is we get a client who wants to turn their offer from contingent to non-contingent. We're focusing pretty much, these are your move-up buyers, or even I have buyers downsizing who are utilizing this. Calque offers a binding backup offer on their current house. So as a Fairway loan officer, we go to a website, Calque's website, we type in the address, just some basic information, takes us about 5 to 10 minutes. And within 24 to 48 hours, Calque provides a binding backup offer on the client's current home, typically. You basically can originate the second home. So their downsides or their upsides, whatever your client is moving to, we can pre-approve them for that new home, removing the current mortgage payment. Because they're removing that contingency, because Calque is providing that binding backup offer on their current home, they allow us to omit that mortgage payment from the debt ratio. Because typically that's client's biggest obstacle, is qualifying with 2 mortgage payments. In this high rate environment and where we're at, that is the toughest part. Also, of course, the money down is the second toughest piece, in my opinion. But your client closes on the new home and they move in. Agent lists and sells the current original home for full value on the open market. Agents, a big question I get all the time is, do I still get paid? Yes, you still get paid your normal commission. Nothing changes there. The difference is Calque is just providing a backup offer should the house not sell within 120 to 150 days. They allow for the sale of the current home. So Another question we get all the time, how much does this cost? What's the catch? All of that. So here we go. So the program fee is $4,000 plus 1% of the original or the sales price of their current home that you are going to sell. So for example, if you are selling a home for $400,000, the fee is $4,000 plus 1% of $400,000. That is not paid out of the client's pocket directly. That is paid at closing. Okay, so when the client sells their current house and you're going over the settlement statement, they are going to pull those funds and pay to Calque directly at the closing table from their current home. So the client isn't writing a check up front for anything. There's no lease back or bridge fee, reduction in,
just interrupt real quick.
Yep,
So
go ahead.
iBuyers is a different program that's out there. Power Buyers is another program that's not ours. Ours is the third one.
Ours is the third one. Oh, no, sorry.
So iBuyers is not our program. They're
Just
showing
kidding.
that.
This is why I should just talk and not read. My bad, y'all can read. So our trade-in mortgage, I'm sorry, it's a flat $2,000 fee. So what I said was higher. My bad. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, it's basically showing that there's other things out there, but they're significantly more expensive.
Yes. Yes. Calque is definitely an affordable option. So I apologize. It's only $2,000 plus 1%. And I didn't read the iBuyer part. Thank you. And also getting into reduction in sales price on home. So if the home doesn't sell within 120 days, 3 to 10% of the listed home's value. Okay, so basically it's 5,500 plus potential bridged if they're pulling equity out. And if they are pulling equity out of their current home, we can also omit their home equity payment from their debt ratio. So they're not qualifying with a first or second mortgage for their new purchase. Okay, that's the biggest thing. And that's why we do this program. So I know statistically homes that are staged properly will sell anywhere from 3 to 7% higher, maybe even more, depending on the property. So if you can do that, that's going to more than pay for the fee for this program. But I do think it is very affordable for what we're doing. So our goal is obviously to enable home buyers and their agents to sell their departing residents for full value on the open market. That is the goal, right? It's a low risk safety net. Calque will buy the home if it hasn't sold, usually 150 days. The one I just did personally is 120. It's anywhere from 120 to 150. And that's something the client will know up front. You'll know as an agent and the client will know up front going in. So basically clients right now, I feel like we're dealing with, they want to move, but they don't know it. They don't want to deal with the contingency. They don't know how long it's going to take to sell their house. They don't want to be homeless. Maybe they don't have family they can stay with. They don't have, short-term rental options in their market. I know in Chicago, we don't have a ton. It's not like you can just Airbnb for a month. That's not like a common thing. You're 4 times more likely to win a non-contingent offer. As agents, I don't have to tell you that. You probably know that. It's obviously more competitive to make a non-contingent offer. And we're still seeing multiple offers. So any way we can make our offers stand out. And you can obviously qualify for more purchase power. How many people now are like, oh my gosh, I can qualify for up to a certain amount with both mortgage payments, but it's not enough to get me to move up. It's not enough with the current rate environment. So it's an easy process. Like I said before, we do a consumer questionnaire, super simple, fill it out on the website. Calque determines the valuation, makes an offer. The financing is arranged as normal. We go through the typical pre-approval process. We close, move, and market the house, and then you sell the original home. So really, it's not that different of a process. So the borrower or the loan officer can fill out the 5-minute questionnaire on the website. So we can send you the website as a consumer to fill out, or a loan officer can fill it out for their client on their behalf as well. Super simple. I've done one, very, very easy. So a customer experience specialist will contact us or contact you and then the borrower to review the process with everybody. We have a rep that does that and they're very communicative, very, very nice. They order title and valuation once the borrower gives approval. Again, no out-of-pocket fees to the borrower or to your clients. So eligible property types, this is a big one. Single family residences, Fannie Mae approved condos, okay? Cannot do manufactured homes or multifamily. And I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but we cannot, the home cannot be on septic for this program for Calque. Or the next program I'm gonna go over is fine, but current home cannot be on septic, just something to keep in mind. So if you know your listing has septic, definitely work with the loan officer up front and communicate that so we can get them into the program that allows us to do the home on septic. So Calque valuation may be digital or in person. Personally, the one I've done was digital, super quick and easy. They complete the valuation, and depending on the property, obviously some properties may take 1 day, some properties may take 2 to 3, up to 7, depending on if they require it in person or not. Like I said, mine was digital, took 1 day, very easy. Purchase price guaranteed offer. So the customer service specialist reaches out. The borrower has 30 days to consider the offer. So if the borrower doesn't like it, or they have questions, or they want to review everything, it's not like they have to sign the offer the day they get it. It's not like a closing disclosure where we're like, sign it right now. But once they do sign the offer, the consumer specialist will deal with the agent directly and us as loan officers directly. I'm moving kind of quick because I want to leave time for questions, but loan approval. So obviously then the borrower completes their paperwork with the loan officer right before the final approved status. Borrower verbally accepts with Calque, and then they'll send the offer via DocuSign. LO confirms financing is approved. Borrower executes. Very simple. So then they purchase the new home. Borrower now has 120 days to 150 days, which is disclosed up front from Calque. They will confirm the closing date. When they do sell it, purchase closes, borrower moves into the new home, just like normal. So marketing the departing residents. The real estate agent can stage now. Like I mentioned that a few times already. Now you have time to stage, to clean, to market and obtain higher offers, maybe do a broker's open, do more open houses because you're not worried about the family in and out. And then the customer service person will contact the realtor every 2 weeks for an update until there's an accepted offer. So when they sell the departing residents, if the home doesn't sell, let's go worst case scenario, right? You never know. In this market, probably not likely because, you know, we're tight on inventory and it is spring and summer. But if it doesn't sell, Calque buys the home. All liens are satisfied on the primary residence. Calque's fee is paid at settlement of the departing residents. I mentioned that in the beginning. So Calque gets paid when the sale of the borrower's original home closes. So basically Calque's the difference, this is so corny, but they only win when you win. So, right, they want you to sell the house, they want you to get paid. And I had a question, if Calque ends up buying the home, that's obviously plan B, right? But if Calque ends up buying the home, does the realtor still get paid? Yes, absolutely. That does not change. You still get your commission. It's just your commission would now be on the price that Calque agreed to buy the home for, not the original list price. That would be the only difference. So they are there to support you. I can say firsthand, they communicate very well. And they're very helpful. We can call, somebody always picks up the phone. Like I said, consumers can apply easily on the website, or the loan officer can fill that out for them. There's marketing materials. So your Fairway loan officer can go into our customer relationship marketing system, Total Expert, and they can print out co-branded marketing flyers for this program for you. So you can present it at your listing presentations, at your buyer consults. And again, your clients may not go for this. It may be a hard no for them, but that's okay because you are providing them a different resource that maybe the other agent they're interviewing didn't provide. And that's the number one thing. Right now, we want to show our value. We want to set ourselves apart from other people. And this product is a way to do that. Maybe they don't end up using it, but you offered it to them. And it just makes something to make their life easier. Let's see here. I'm not going to read all of these slides, but they are there. These are just some testimonials. Like I said, firsthand, I actually have a client going through this right now. And the experience has been fantastic so far. No complaints. And that's it for Calque. Now I'm going to share a little bit on, does anybody have questions on Calque before we move forward? Like I said, no septic is the biggest one. And this is only for conventional, I should clarify this, I should have put this in the PowerPoint, new conventional purchases. If you have a client purchasing FHA, VA, USDA, or jumbo on their new home, this is not for them. This is for conventional new purchases only. Also, no reverse mortgage. If you have your client downsizing using a reverse mortgage, they would not be eligible for this. So this is for your conventional clients, which we know most of our move-up buyers end up being conventional clients, typically, not always.
And yes, and Val, yes, it's all paid out of the proceeds after they buy their new house and then sell their departing residence. There's no money that changes hands until after they sell their departing residence.
Yep. So think of it like this. If you have a client who purchased their house using IDA or some kind of down payment assistance, and they have a second lien attached to the property, and that has to get paid at closing on the settlement statement back to IDA, that's kind of how this is. Calque would take the portion of their equity at closing, and they'll see that line item on the settlement statement, but they'll know the fees up front. Like I said, the $2,000 plus 1% of the sales price of their current residence. And this is for, I wanted to also point out, primary residences only. This isn't for people to sell their current house and purchase an investment property. Okay. I'm going to share. Oh, go ahead.
There's one thing, and just so you guys understand, it may be quote unquote sound like a bridge loan, but it's not. They're not paying any interest during those 150 days. So although yes, there's a fee, it is the same as if they went and got a true bridge loan, which we all know that those are ugly interest rates type of thing. So it is not an actual bridge loan. Yes, there's fees, but compared to what they're going to go pay if they went and actually originated a bridge loan anyway, they're going to pay fees on it. They're going to pay interest on it. So yeah, there's a cost, but it's probably the same or similar or maybe even less than an actual true quote unquote bridge loan.
Absolutely. I think the perks well outweigh the negatives with this one. But again, and it might not be for everybody. It might not be, but you are offering the service and offering it as an agent, and showing your value is more important now than ever. So that's really what we want to do. Is our job as loan officers and realtors and business professionals is to provide our clients with options and educate them, let them make the decision that's best for them and their family. But I will tell you, the communication is super transparent with Calque. They don't try to hide anything. There's no fees the client won't know. There's not going to be a surprise when they get to closing and say, what is this fee? I didn't know about that. None of that. So getting into the second option we have for this is through a program called.
Megan.
Oh, go ahead.
Nikki had a question.
Oh, sure.
What does Calque do with the home? They give it back to the listing agent to go sell.
Yep.
So you don't lose out on that, because again, they're going to go, they're not in the business to own homes. They're in the business to provide this financing and make their fees and whatnot. They're not in the business to own the home. So they're going to go back to turn around and tell you guys to sell it.
Yep. And like I said, when Calque buys the home, you get there's commission there. Like, they're not going to not pay the commissions. So I know that's a hot button right now, especially. So getting into the next program is through a program called HomeLight. And HomeLight is similar to Calque, but there are some differences as well. So getting into it, basically, this is a modern bridge solution. They call it a modern bridge solution. Whereas Calque, you have to go get your own. Let's say the client wants to pull equity out of their home and go through Calque. They have to go obtain a HELOC. We can do HELOCs at Fairway. Or they, let's say the client goes to their local credit union or bank or something and obtains a home equity loan to pull the down payment out for the new house. That's what they have to do with Calque. HomeLight does allow you to do that all in one. So they will allow us to remove the contingency. They offer to purchase the home just like Calque. They provide a binding cash backup offer, but they also allow you to pull the equity out all in one, interest-free, no payments on the equity, none of that. So just a couple statistics for you. The gift of buy before you sell, very similar to the last program slides, but you're solving a problem for your client. And that's the number one thing to remember. It's our job to solve their problems, maybe problems they didn't even know they had, right? So 56% of repeat buyers use funds from their departing residents for their down payment. That's a huge number. That's more than half of our clients. It might even be higher in our market too. So now this is your modern bridge solution with HomeLight. So goodbye to the pending home sale, 0% interest bridge loan for the down payment. Equity Unlock gives clients access up to 75% CLTV, so combined loan to value, that's what CLTV is, of their departing residents. So it helps your clients purchase first, just like Calque. The difference is this is the Equity Unlock all in one. So what happens, similar to Calque, we go through a process on their website. We have our own specific Fairway website. It's just a departing residence approval. We list out, you go through some basic questions. What are you going to sell the home for? What's their current mortgage balance? So we figure out their loan to value, and HomeLight approves in 24 hours or less. I also have one going with HomeLight right now, and I can attest to that. We had an approval in 12 hours. I'm going to share a personal story really quick just to share how I use this program. My neighbors are moving, they're downsizing, they can't do stairs anymore. They found a beautiful ranch home 2 blocks away, made a contingent offer, it got accepted, contingent, no problem. However, an offer came in to bump them. So because they were bumped, they had 48 hours to sell get their current home and remove the contingency because these other buyers were cash. So within 48 hours, we had them approved with HomeLight, removed the contingency, pre-approved for their new mortgage loan, and now I'm able to omit their current mortgage payment and the equity unlock. They almost own their home free and clear. So they're allowing us to pull $450,000 of equity on their current home to put as a down payment on the new home. So they're putting over 50% down on the new home. And then once they sell this current home and some investments mature, they're just going to pay off the new home. But they didn't want to lose this home. So to them, it was worth it. And I will tell you, them removing that contingency, you could just see the stress like removed from their face because they would have lost their retirement home. And we all know homes without stairs that people fall in love with, like they're harder to come by. So as your client's downsizing, this is a great option for them because we know, especially in that age range, clients are getting rid of stairs, they're downsizing, and they own their homes free and clear or close to free and clear a lot of times because they're in retirement or close to retirement. So let's say in this example, they're shopping, they find a home, their new purchase is $600,000, their down payment comes from $125,000 of that equity unlock. They sell their current home for full market value. And just like Calque, same thing. We omit the equity payment, the home equity payment, there isn't one. And we omit their current mortgage payment from their debt ratio. So they're not qualifying with 2 mortgages. This one, however, is a 2 point.
Megan, just so you know, you're not, you just have it like, you're not going through the slideshow if you are reading off slides.
No, I'm just reading off can you see my sample transaction slide?
No, that's what I mean. You're on the first slide. Like you don't have it going as like a slideshow like you had before.
Let me try again. I'm so sorry. Because I am going off slides. Is that better?
There you go. Yep.
Weird, because on my screen, that's what I saw. Okay, well, thank you. Technical difficulty. So this one comes with a 2.4% transaction fee. It doesn't have that flat $2,000 fee like Calque had. It's just a flat 2.4%. So a little bit higher. However, that is because now remember, we're removing the contingency and unlocking the equity. Okay, there's both pieces to it. So 24-hour full approval, super simple on the website. I can't tell you how simple it is. It took me 5 minutes. The rep called me within 12 hours. We were rolling. It was so easy. So buy before you sell service date. So as you can see, Illinois, can you guys see my screen now, Scott? Are we good? Okay. Okay.
Yep, you're
Just
good.
making sure I'm switching slides and it's switching on your screen too. So Illinois is gray. The reason for that is because HomeLight is not yet eligible in Chicago. Chicago only. So outside of Chicago, fine, but if it has a Chicago zip code, it is not eligible for HomeLight. Calque is, okay? So again, I don't expect obviously as a realtor, you're like, how am I gonna remember all this? I don't expect you to. That's why we have the marketing materials for you, so you can just bullet point, educate your client, get your clients over to us, and after us having a fact-finding conversation with them, we'll be able to know right off the bat what program makes more sense for them. Okay, so not good in Chicago for HomeLight. And that's the departing residents, right? The home they're selling cannot be in Chicago. And I do know HomeLight is working on approval in Chicago, so it's in progress, just hasn't happened yet. So wanted to point that out. Just like Calque, it's homes 750 to 5550 square feet. They can equity unlock up to $2 million, super generous. No FHA or VA reverse mortgage on the new purchase on their incoming residents. So this, again, this is for your conventional buyers only for both programs. Just random little facts. I'm not going to read all of these. We can definitely send out a copy of the PowerPoint, or definitely meet with your Fairway loan officer to go into it more in depth. But basically, single family, townhome, or condo are eligible. It cannot be greater than 5 acres. So if you're selling that's a hot spot. If you're selling rural property that's more than 5 acres, we know it's not eligible for this program. Not in an age restricted community, so no 55 and older communities. And what else? What else is a hot spot? Anyone else want to point out any hot spots? Those were all of mine personally. Can't be actively in foreclosure.
Really quick for the Chicago piece, it's
Yes.
not far out. They said like 3 to 4 months, 5 months at the latest.
Right. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
that's where we could look at Calque. I mean,
yes, but in the
you know.
meantime, yes, we can look at Calque. Absolutely.
And
But
that would
when
be the
Chicago's
thing
approved,
that-
we'll let you know.
of what Megan said is that, and our marketing department, Megan and Scott saw it because I asked them to put something together. We're working on putting together basically a cheat sheet for you guys as agents. So you guys don't have to. Your job is not to remember all of our guidelines and programs. Your job is, oh shoot, they have contingency. How do I remove it? Call your Fairway loan officer. So.
Right.
We are putting something together that's going to easily be able to tell you, boom, here's this, call us for this. And I'll pretty
Right.
much say it's about every program out there we have.
Yep. And if you have a listing appointment coming up, meet with your Fairway loan officer first. Like, hey, obviously before you go to a listing appointment, you're doing your research on the property, right? You're going to show up educated on that property to try to get that client to choose you to list their home. So call your Fairway loan officer and just say, hey, like, I have this listing appointment I'm going to, like, we should, do you know it already? Is it on septic? Do you know their mortgage balance up front? You might not, that's okay. But any details you have about the property, before you go on that listing appointment, talk it through with your Fairway loan officer, and they can get you some marketing to, ahead of time before going to that appointment, what's going to work. Or better yet, if you're co-branded with them on Total Expert, you can log in and grab any of this marketing on your own and not even wait for your loan officer if you've gone through that. So again, program costs 2.4% on the sale of the home. Minimums apply if the departing residence is valued less than $375, and that's something they go over with you all in the first 24 hours. Equity unlock works like this: 0% bridge loan used as a down payment on the new purchase. And how do you determine the backup offer? The loan payoff value equals the mortgage balance plus the equity unlock amount. So the client will know how much the backup offer is for, same as Calque, up front, so they know. Of course, it is below market value, just full transparency. But again, 120 to 150 days to sell the home. We know as agents, you guys can do that. I believe in you.
Also, on HomeLight, because we've had our reps on a call, I think they said they have not bought one. I think maybe like 1 or 2. They very rarely end up buying a home.
Yeah, it's definitely rare. And I think you're right. It was only like 2 homes they ended up actually purchasing.
Yeah, so it's not something that happens too often, especially in this market. And the one thing I will just say to everybody, to all the agents on this call, I was at a networking event, and there was agents, there was a couple other loan officers from other companies. And one agent was asking me about this, and I was explaining it. And I will just tell you, you're going to hear from any other company out there, this is a horrible program. The fees are ridiculous, this and that and that. But that's, like I mentioned, not the case, because when you look at what we're trying to accomplish in this situation, the cost of doing a true bridge loan and everything else is going to be equivalent to this because of the fees and pay interest and whatnot. So, you know, the fact that, oh, they're going to lose the house and get it under market value. If you have a house, now use your judgment. What I would say is, if it's a house that is an ugly house and you may think this might take a while to sell, then maybe you don't want to, maybe we don't want to do this. But if it's a house that's going to sell in a month, there's really not too much risk then at that point for the seller.
Right. Totally agree. So what happens if HomeLight purchases the home? Let's say, like I said, they've only purchased a couple of homes, but the client receives 100% of the net proceeds if HomeLight needs to purchase the home. Okay. So any questions on HomeLight? And I want to share some resources the loan officer we have for you guys. Really quick, I'm going to screen share one more thing. I had it pulled up. Hang on. There's a website. Oh, it won't let me while I'm on Zoom. It won't let me change. But there's a website. As Fairway loan officers, we have access to marketing for HomeLight. There's instructional videos for you as realtors. There's flyers, all kinds of things we have that we can get you. So reach out to them with questions on this, because if there's a question, we have a resource for it. So that being said, I think that's all I had as far as those two programs. I wanted to keep it super quick. I know your time is valuable. So anybody have any questions or things they want to add? No one has any questions? Okay, that's a good thing, right? Fairway people, did I forget anything? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
that's it. Oh,
No,
what, Scott?
you did a great job. I think summed it up well. Just I think the overall main point is that if you have a seller that's nervous about selling, right, we can go non-contingent. We have options. We have plenty of different things to look at. So yeah, give us a call if you have any questions.
Sorry, really quick. I do actually have a question, and I am like going back and forth with calls and text messages and all types of stuff. So I apologize.
no worries.
But and I might have missed this, but as far as if they do end up having to buy the property off the clients, what as far as the pricing is concerned, do they determine the pricing through an appraisal, or how is that done?
So different ways. Automated AVM is the most common way they do an AVM. Sometimes they may require an in-person physical inspection. My clients who are using HomeLight, HomeLight wanted to do an inspection because the sales price was so high. They came out within 48 hours, did an inspection, and we're waiting on a response. Now, what I will tell you is in the first 24 hours, they do make an offer to the client based on the AVM and the property stats that you've put in the system. Once they do a physical inspection, that number could change, but the contract that your client signs is based on the AVM they come up with and how much equity your client has in the home. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Their current mortgage balance, so many things, right? Location, is it a declining market? We've had other Fairway loan officers in Florida. We know in Illinois, a lot of people are licensed in Florida too. It's a common second home, retirement. People are moving to Florida. There are parts of Florida that are considered a declining market. So the HomeLight is still offering, but they might be a little bit below market value because of the decline. So there's so many different factors and statistics that go into that. But I will tell you within 24 hours, the client knows what HomeLight will pay for the home upfront. It's all part of their contract that's bullet pointed and explains to them.
And they have to accept the fact that if the home doesn't sell, this is a price that they're going to get paid out.
Yes.
In order to join the program, like that's just part of the contract, correct?
Yes. Yes. And what I will tell you though, like let's say your client is making an offer on a new home, if they accept an offer on their current home, and it removes the contingency. Like, let's say they get a cash offer on their home all in this time, they can drop HomeLight or Calque. They don't have to use it and pay those fees if they can remove the contingency and get the clear to close in an appropriate amount of time.
Oh, okay. So
So
then
this is essentially a plan C, if you will.
wow. Okay. All right. That makes sense. That's pretty good, actually. Thank
Yeah,
you.
It's important to note too that if HomeLight does end up getting the house and selling it for more, that the extra net proceeds do go to the home seller, right? Is that
Yes,
they don't
that's
lose
my
that?
understanding.
That's what that is my understanding as well. So it's
Yes.
not like HomeLight is not in the business of like an investor will buy your home, you know, kind of the billboards we see. They don't want to buy these homes and
No.
sell, right? That and if they do, the net proceeds after their costs, whatever costs that they entail in selling that home, go back to that original seller as well.
Right. Yeah, they don't want the home. It's kind of like the bank. We always say with foreclosure, like the bank doesn't want your home. Please, you know what I mean? But definitely it's just that plan B, plan C, backup plan, right? And just something to present to your clients. Of course, in a perfect world, and another question I want to touch on that I've gotten, I just remembered is, does the client still have to make their mortgage payment on their current house? And if they have a second mortgage, yes. You don't want a mortgage late showing up on your credit. They still have, even though we're excluding it from the DTI, they still have to make that payment. Okay, so just to make that clear, we're excluding it from the DTI, but if it takes them 60, 90 days, obviously they're gonna have a couple mortgage payments in there. They still have to make that mortgage payment to avoid a late pay on their credit. That payment doesn't go away. Question, Robin? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. First of all, this has been very informative, so and awesome way to get the listing. But is that 24 hours? Is that 7 days a week? Like, you know, a lot of our offers and everything else is always on Saturday and Sunday. So is this only Monday through Friday?
I did mine on a Friday morning and had it by Friday afternoon. Because I
Okay.
called the rep directly and said, sense of urgency. We need to have this done by Sunday. So
Okay.
my experience personally was a Friday, late, you know, 11th hour on a Friday.
Mhm.
I have not had the personal experience of doing it over the weekend, but I will tell
Okay.
you the reps are very communicative. If we were to call them on a Saturday, I don't doubt they would answer. But we would want to get it started on Friday if at all possible. Cause yeah, no guarantees.
Right, I get it.
Yeah,
All
but
right,
if they
thank
have
you.
like my neighbors had 48 hours to remove the contingency, they didn't count Sunday in that 48 hours. They gave them 2 like business days, if you will.
I see. Okay.
So, yeah.
And Robin, I will say I actually emailed the rep for, I think it was HomeLight this past Saturday on something, and he called me about it. Now, was he going to be able to get somebody to review and do all the work on it? No, he wasn't sure. He said he would see if he could. But he definitely reached out to me when I sent an email within like 20 minutes because I was like, hey, I might have a scenario right now. So they're definitely very responsive and hungry for the business right now.
All right,
Yeah,
perfect. Thank you.
If you guys want to go back to your brokerages and share this, we're happy to come to your brokerage and do a webinar just for your brokerage. And the reps from HomeLight and Calque are willing to do it too. So we can get them, we have their contact info. So if you want them to share about the program at your brokerage, or you want one of us to do it for you, absolutely. We all have access to these PowerPoints and marketing materials and everything. So we can absolutely help you with that.
And another question. So as far as like, as far as the broker is concerned, I know you said that the broker would still get paid their commission if if they end up buying the house. Is that the agreed upon commission on the listing agreement?
Yes. You can't
Okay.
change it. It's not like you can go back and increase it,
No.
right?
Oh, right.
But you can, it is the agreed upon. They know that up front. Yeah,
Okay.
they get that information up front. Like my client's house was already listed, so it was pretty black and white. But if it's not, that's agreed upon up front. Yep. Now, our job is to protect your commissions. That is what we want to do. And this is just another way to do that and show value. So again, not for everybody, but it's an option.